G'day, I'm Patrick from Douglas Fir Design. Welcome to the Router Bits. Have a look at some face moulding bits. There's a whole variety of these in different profiles. They're essentially purely a decorative bit, so they don't perform any function other than just cutting these neat profiles matched to kind of period furniture and picture frames, architrave, cornices, anywhere where you're really looking for a decorative edge like that. I'm just going to show you two of the profiles, and like I said, there's quite a few of them to choose from. As the name suggests, these bits are designed to cut a profile into the face of the timber. They're tall and the cut is quite narrow, so they're suitable for using on something about 19mm, possibly even thinner. You could obviously use them on thicker stuff as well. I'm just going to demonstrate one of the patterns here. We'll lock it into place. You can really place these as high or low as you want, but I want to line up the base of that bit with the bottom edge of my timber because that's the profile I'm going for. You could raise it higher or lower depending on the look that you're after. Alright, so we've created that really common profile that you might use on architrave or skirting around a door or whatever. One thing to keep in mind when using a bit like this is as it's cutting, it's actually removing material from the bottom edge, and if you're using those feather boards to push in really hard, it'll tilt the piece as you move along. So you need to apply pressure along your fence on this top edge to balance that out. And as long as you have some material there that's going to remain flat to use as a reference, it won't be a problem. Something to keep in mind. The next bit I want to demo is actually a much deeper cut. If I was going to use this on 19mm stock, it wouldn't leave much material after the cut had been made. So I'm going to use some 32mm stock on this, and that will leave me enough meat behind the blade. It's a big cut, so I'm going to do it in two passes. The setup is basically the same. I'm going to bring the bottom edge of the router to the bottom edge of the timber and align the fence with the bearing. That's all there is to it. Although the first cut, the fence will be in front of the bearing because otherwise it'll just be too deep in one pass. So that's created another really common profile. You might see that kind of thing around even a picture frame, that sort of thing. You might have heard when I was pushing through on that second pass, there was the sound of some chipping going on. That was because I was just taking out a little bit too much material. It didn't affect the finish, but ideally for a smoother cut, you might take out less each time. Yeah, it worked really well. There's a whole bunch of other profiles you can get. If you like, you can even buy a set of them. And I think there's 2 or 3 extra profiles in that set that you can't buy individually. You can pick up the set or individually at Timbecon from their website or in either of their stores in Perth and Melbourne.